Hello and welcome back, and we're going to continue on with my series here on programming two different mice, with the one with the Pro Mini and one with the Teensy 3.0 on it. I have both of them hooked up to the same pins with their servo motors. Recall maybe from another video that the Pro Mini, the pins 0 and 1 are dedicated to a serial communication port. So I decided to start my servos on pins 2 and 3. To follow through so I don't have to change code, I've done the same thing over here on this Teensy. Even though it does have the first two pins available, I've set it on pins 2 and 3. Notice also the light colored wire is closest to the chip on both. In this case, they're two different servos, but this particular servo, the white wire is closest to the chip, and on this particular servo, the orange wires are closest to the chip. So that's it, they're set up. Now let's take a look at some code here. If you're going to program, there's a lot of ways to do it, but the easiest way to program any robot with servos is to go ahead and include the servo.h file. So right off the bat you can see I have that right there, include servo.h. I then initially set up two servos. Okay? So I have my right servo and my left servo. On the setup, I have to attach those two servos. So the right servo is attached to pin 2, and the left servo is attached to pin 3 on both of them. Then we get to the loop. Okay. Now, I have another video that I'll pop up here in a link so you can click it that shows how a modified servo actually works. In brief, it's going to take little teeny steps trying to reach a point which it can never reach because a stop or a resistor has been removed, so it always thinks it's someplace else. And I'm going to pulse it 100 times. Okay, so I've created this little integer called go. I set it to 0. And then while it's less than 100, I'm going to add one value to go. So it's going to be 0, do it, 1, do it, 2, do it, 3, do it, and on up to 100, and then it's going to stop. Well, what's it going to do? The right servo is going to pulse out 2,000 microseconds, and the left servo is going to pulse out 1,000 microseconds. Notice the servos are pointing in opposite sides. So 2,000 for one of them is going to be full speed in, say, the clockwise direction, whereas 1,000 for the other one is going to be full speed in a counterclockwise direction. But they're facing opposite ways, so they'll go forward. Again, that other video explains that nicely. And it's going to do this, like I said, for 100 times. As soon as it's done, it's going to detach the servos, disconnect them, and it's going to do this only once. And a lot of things normally Arduino runs in sort of an infinite loop, but I want it to go only once, so I've created this while statement, and the while statement is going to terminate after one run, and that's it. It's going to be done. So if I go now up to Tools, and let's attach the Teensy 3.0, and recall it is connected to pin COM3. I'm going to turn the power on both of these. Oh, that one's already on. This one's on. And let's load it up. And we should watch this thing, the wheels rotate for 100 pulses, or a relatively short period of time. On the floor, I think you'd find it going about maybe 24 inches. Okay, that was 100 pulses. How about that? Actually, the small drop in power relaunched this one. Let's actually reload that one. So I'm going to go down here to the Pro Mini, and it's hooked up to COM4. I already had loaded it and tested it once. That's why I did that. It sensed the drop in power and reloaded the software and launched itself one time. And there you go. So Next step will be to actually make it respond to something. So I will see you pretty shortly.